Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Shadow and Bone Season 1, Episode 6, The Heart is an Arrow. Oh my goodness, everything happened last episode. I've been waiting for the show to reach that point and now it is here and I am ready. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. You get those 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and let's go.
You have another way. I don't know what you mean. He does.
Shit.
An entertainer. You smuggle Grisha out of my palace. You help me burn.
Seeing the true colours.
No. Give me half that. I'll get revenge for you. I can get close.
Oh, yeah. Oh, not a good sign if he sends them away. Yeah. I love how resourceful she is. They were waiting, I guess.
We can help you. We have a secure route through the fold.
Inesh believes.
Don't be rash.
Oh. She won't do anything against you. Looks like you didn't murder the prisoners. Oh, Nina. Our renders aren't useless. Yes. You need each other.
So there is a brain inside all that muscle.
You should have gone by the food stores.
At sundown, I'm leading a team to pursue the criminals who took my staff.
Oh yes, they took her. She didn't run.
Not myself today.
Oh, are you more yourself than ever? Oh, Zoya, I used to use you.
I shall relax.
When I have my sun summoner. So here he is a not good man. Run.
I speak 6 languages.
Mm-hmm.
Part of my job.
I love Nina.
That's all going to depend on what side of the border we're on.
Very true.
Why don't you come inside?
Yeah, run, 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 run. Oh. Oh. Oh.
I'm just trying to stay warm. Join me. You're just a man, like all the others.
Just a fine specimen of a man, like many others.
Closer.
I love Nina.
What are you doing?
Oh God, relax. I promise not to ravish you.
Not like a demure Fjordan lady, is it? Grisha aren't all evil, are they? See, she could have killed you at any one moment. She no longer needs you. He is a big idiot. Have a think about some of that brainwashing that's been beaten into you. You two need to talk.
So we're talking now.
Oi.
Where have you been? Couldn't even be bothered to reply to a single one of my letters.
I never had a word from you, and I wrote you nearly every single day.
Sweet. What?
Believe each other.
About your exploits. I knew what would happen if I somehow passed their test. They would have taken me away.
To a palace, Alina.
From you. Yeah.
You wrote me a letter.
Yeah. Oh. I love them. You let her go.
Are you going to tell me how the target got away?
I won't betray my faith.
Pious as that may be, we cannot work effectively as a crew if you're making decisions based on religious zeal.
Fate to return me to Helene.
Either we get the target, or Helene gets the Crow Club and peck
Kaz.
whatever's left.
Wait. Why would Helene get the Crow Club?
For you, he bet it. Well, as assurance.
What did you do?
Oh, there's just so many layers to this. I love it.
No smoke.
Your powers don't scare me.
Is it me, then? Do I scare you?
No. I'm sorry. It took me this long to see you, Alina.
Oh,
I see you now.
he does. They're so sweet.
You speak for all Fjerdan girls?
Men and women are caretakers. They're venerated, and Fjerdan men are their protectors.
Of course.
That sounds like a recipe for a lot of very unhappy people.
It's not natural for girls to fight.
Oh, just to be chained up in the.
To be as stupid as he is tall, and yet there you stand. Do it myself if I have to. Saints, I didn't know you could laugh.
Oh, Grisha's so evil, Mr. Laughing Man.
If we don't move soon, the Black General will be on top of us.
He already is.
Any more time looking for the girl? More alarm.
Uh-huh.
Split up. Much easier.
You could aim for your head.
Has no one told you?
You did us.
In the same spot as Clever.
You robbed me of my brother. Now you robbed me of your life.
What are you?
Big softy, apparently. I really should have shot you in the head.
I know what he was about to say.
Just stop while you were ahead.
They are skilled at escaping, splitting up the forces as well.
I'd wait until a healer is close by before you pull this out.
I will track you down and kill everyone that you love.
She is sparing your life right now.
In that case,
Mm,
I'll take my knife back.
yeah. Oh, Inej. I'm sorry. Kazbrecker and the Darkling. The what?
It was pretty clear she wasn't interested in being a captive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You should have stayed and cut it down.
Mr. Brecker.
Yes, Kaz. This is insane. Like, book stuff taking place and then crazy stuff taking place.
Ben went out alive. Kayla Dubov wasn't so lucky.
Oh,
How do you keep West? Get to the vault.
no. She wants to fix this.
Did you tell General Kerrigan to find the stack before he does?
Yeah.
It's a powerful amplifier. It might make me strong enough to destroy the fold.
What are you so afraid will happen? You afraid you might start to like me?
You might realise that that training was a load of crap.
That's it, isn't it?
I do like
Is that so bad?
Yes.
Why?
Broom warned us about how charming Rouget could be.
You, because Grisha are, you know, human.
I'm beguiling you.
Oh,
Stop it.
think about your training and is it true or not?
Quit it.
You are powerless to resist me.
Oh, goodness me, Nina. This is the moment he could kill her easily. She really thought he might drop her and so did he, but he didn't. Is he reconsidering some of that conditioning and brainwashing? Oh, he's not so evil. She's not an evil Grisha either, is she? Hey? Oh my god!
Pretty nice, right?
They're gonna take the Darkling's carriage.
He threw a book at me.
He stole. I know. Thieves.
David.
You don't need to put.
You really developed an appetite, didn't you? That's new.
Not bad, you just. I'm saying it was good on you.
She doesn't look unhealthy anymore.
I made some stupid choices at the Little Palace. And
Yeah,
he...
well, you don't owe me an explanation.
Mm-mm.
I just want to keep you safe. Come on.
And maybe that pretty ring you've got, sell it somewhere.
Orphans of Crimson. Reunite.
Yep.
Adorable.
She never said a word so sickeningly as that.
Miss Starkov is in the woods. She's going after the stag.
Okay, can I just say these words to you? The Darkling versus Kazbrecker just happened on my screen. Crazy times. Okay, this episode was absolutely insane. I knew this show was about to step it up, and it really has. I'm so glad Alina and Mal found each other, that they are together. I love that she like found a way out of the chest, and then all three of them were there, and she got away, and of course it never let her. Yeah, taking in a real sunset, not going to be look good for a faithful person, but just Alina, she found Mal, they trusted each other, they were both mad at each other at first, but then they both talked about the fact that they had written letters to each other, and they had bonded, that they were being kept apart rather than not caring, and their bond is unbreakable. Their shared history, the truth of it, is everything, and I love that he's not scared of her being a Grisha. Like, yeah, it's a lot for him to handle, it's different, it's not something he's used to, but he's accepting of it. He's not making her feel bad or saying he's scared of Grecian women or anything like that. They're being open and honest with each other, and she was even going to tell him just what a bad mistake she made with Alexander, with good old Darkling, and I'm really enjoying seeing their bond play out. It's one of those ones that in the first book at least struggled to come through to me that well, I think largely because Mal was gone for so long, and then in the book he's a little bit angrier at her, he's a little bit more like, oh, you've been here living it up, or you're a Grisha now, rather than being kind of this Mal, which he becomes this Mal. By the end of the book I did really like them together, but I'm still getting over this episode. There were so many scenes with Alina and Mal that felt straight from the book. I don't remember the book well enough to know if it's word for word because it has been about 6 months since I reread them, but there were so many scenes and moments that were from the book, and I loved it. To really see them bond, and Alina realised that the deaths of Durast, what's that his name? No, Dupov, I'm so sorry, and Mikhail reminded her just what's at stake, and what's at stake if the Darkling gets the amplifier, what's at stake if nobody stops the fold and nobody reunites Ravka so it can present a unified front against these other threats. And she realised finally what the Darkling had always wanted her to realise, in that she needs to step up and take responsibility that she has these powers and she has a purpose with them. And I love that. I love that Mal's finding the stag, they're going to go together, she's going to get it. I mean, having read the books, I pretty much, I'm sure I know what's going to be happening, but I just seeing it unfold and watching as her character grows stronger and stronger, and having Mal around has made her even stronger. It's so brilliant to see. They're doing such a good job of portraying the story. My heart is with Alina and Mal. I'm just so excited to continue watching their journey. Now, the Darkling is as terrifying as ever. In this episode, he's definitely, you know, he said to Zoya, I'm not quite myself. No, you mean you're not quite able to keep a handle on yourself today? You're not able to act the good, pious man. Okay, not that he ever acted particularly pious, but he's not able to act all good and true. He is letting his guard down. He's letting his true evilness slip a little bit, and his controllingness. The Darkling is very... they don't really refer to him as that one. Matthias referred to him as that one time. But he is very much the type of villain who thinks they're a hero. In his story, he is protecting the Grisha from the evil people, and who cares how many people he kills in the process, which is not a hero. But you can see how he would inspire belief and confidence from the other Grisha. And I am scared of him, even though he's very attractive. The fact that the crows, 3 of them at least, went up against Zoya. I mean, Zoya didn't really interfere too much, like, has got away from her quite quickly, but just seeing them there, I think their level of, like, they have the street smarts of the barrel in Ketterdam. That is a very specific place. It's like a very renowned place for being, if you want to go and gamble and, like, have some sort of low life or, like, you know, slightly sketchy activity, that's where you go. The people that they'd be dealing with in Ravka wouldn't have that kind of street smart, so it does make sense that they would be able to evade them. Jesper is obviously a very skilled sharpshooter. I do wonder what he was going to say. You're a... I may know the answer to that. But there's just so many interesting developments there, and like Jesper was potentially going to kill him, or at least violently knock him out or something, but there was a child there and he couldn't do it. Inej has now killed 2 people, a brother and sister. That is going to be a lot for her to process and handle. On top of everything, she and Kaz had a little moment of fight where, you know, he's not happy that her faith came first when it came to Alina. She now knows that he staked his crow club for her freedom. And if they don't have Alina, they don't get the money. It's all very stressful. And like, what I find so interesting is that we have these 2 plots. We have the Alina and Mal plot, where I'm pretty much, unless they crazily change the plot, I know where it's going. I know what the end result is going to be. I'm just enjoying watching this story that I love play out in front of me. Similarly with Nina and Matthias. But with the crows, this is a prequel to their story. This is insane to me. I am loving it, and I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to tie it in, because, you know, they could say that the fact that he needs to get that money is what's going to trigger the next, like, their actual plot, instead of it being the way it was triggered in the book. I'm so excited to start to uncover how the crows are going to tie into everything else, and having yet Kaz be the Darkling, and he just managed to get away. They all barely made it out. Then they stole the Darkling's carriage, which is absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10 Kazbreaker would steal the Darkling's carriage. I'm sure there have been memes about that, and now it has happened. I absolutely loved it, and Jesper being like, oh yes. It was just fantastic. It was very frightening, because although I was like, well, obviously they're going to survive because they need to have their own plotline in the future, it was still like, how the frack are they going to survive? And it wasn't without cost, because, you know, Inej had to kill somebody else. Oh dear. It's just, that's going to be a lot for her to be dealing with. Then we have Nina and Matthias. Now, Matthias is one of those characters that on an instinctive level when you first meet him, you despise him. But what you have to remember with him and with all Fjerdans is they are raised in such a strict brainwashing. You know, every single girl is raised to believe that she should be this meek little housewife, and if you see a mean Grisha, you go and tell on them. Every boy is raised that you must be the strong, manly protector, and if you see a Grisha, you should kill it. You know, it's such intrinsic in their society, in their way of being, that Ravka is the enemy and Ravka has Grisha, and we hate Grisha, and Grisha are witches, and we have witch hunters, and they're the greatest. That Matthias has very much been brainwashed his entire life into having these beliefs, and it doesn't make them right. It doesn't mean he gets a free pass for his actions, of course not. But The key thing is what he does. When he is presented with evidence and proof in the form of Nina Zenik, that maybe that's all a bit of crap, maybe that's a bunch of lies. And we've seen him slowly but surely warming to her, warming to her, funny, but we've seen him kind of coming around. Now this is very much a story playing out exactly as their backstory is told. These two characters, Six of Crows, this is the story of how they met, and how they survived a shipwreck together. And I'm loving watching it play out, but it's just so, Matthias is such a fascinating character, because people who are radicalized from a very young age, brainwashed into a certain society, can come around, they can see sense, but what's going to be key with Matthias is to see what he does. So far, you know, he pulled Nina up. There was that moment where she really thought he might drop her, and I think there was that moment where all of his instinctive training kicked in, and it was, I could rid myself of this Grisha right now, but he pulled her up, and then he gave her his big warm blanket thing, and that is a really positive sign with Matthias, and he just needs to keep it up. I mean, I know whether he does or not because I've read the book, but maybe they're going to throw a curveball and make some characters act differently. I don't know. I never expected Kaz and the Darkling to face off. This was absolutely brilliant episode. My favourite one so far, I think, in a lot of ways. 2 episodes left. I'm very stressed, but very excited. Thank you so much for watching.